What's going on, fragrance family? Welcome to another episode of Taking a Test Drive. This series is where I wear a scent on my skin as my scent of the day for several days, including today. From my own personal collection, it's time to give you my thoughts before it goes into the vault for a full-fledged review. Today's test drive is on the house of Chopard and another one from the Malaki line. After speaking about Ambre Malaki a few weeks ago on the channel, I decided to, of course, highlight this one called Oud Malaki. Also notably, Chopard just recently announced a new release of the Malaki line called Cedar. So the nose behind that one, I believe, is Maurice. So great news for everyone that Chopard continues to push this line, as it's personally, I feel, a great one. There's actually, I just started noticing that the caps here have like that brushed nickel-like, kind of like a watch band, and Chopard is known for jewelry, things like that, and this really does look like a watch band. It has that brushed nickel look to it. So I just looked at my bottle and I'm like, what does this remind me of? That. So let's go under the hood. Let's take a look at some stats on this one. This is not a new release. It's 2012 release date, so it's been a while since it's been on market. I believe it was the first one I bought from the Malaki line. And, besides unboxing this fragrance on my channel, I never gave you guys anything in depth of this particular release. So I'm happy to finally start talking about this one. The nose behind this one, All-Star Parfumier, Monsieur Dominique Rapillon. All-star nose, great with spices, and that's one thing that's very notable in this release, is how he utilized the spices in this particular release. It's not all about oud, and you're going to get to know that in this video. The major notes to my nose on this one were tobacco, cedar has a place in this release, and also caraway as another note. So you can see that on the big notes, at least to my nose, oud is not there. Tobacco, cedar, caraway. So let's delve into Oud Malaki. Of course, it's my scent of the day, but I want to remind myself of the introduction of this release and put it on my skin again. The one thing that immediately hits my nose with Oud Malaki is it's very dark, but very well composed as a release. And it's not oud, rose, saffron, or something like that. No, it really is dusty and kind of brings me to a spice market. So it reminds me of, the first thing that hits me actually is that sweet tobacco note in this release, and the wallop of spices and herbal components too. So again, like I said, Rapillon is a master at utilizing spices and really just grabbing them and putting them with different notes and really doing great things with them. Now there is a grapefruit note in the beginning here, very synthetic and minimal. So if you miss it, you blink, you missed it. So the grapefruit in here, not a major factor, to be quite honest. Now the spices, not named in the note breakdown, look at that. So they're gonna make me utilize my nose a little bit more. These seem to me, at least, to be cardamom. There's definitely some caraway here. The caraway gives this fragrance, and I think it is one of the stars of this, of the show, because it gives its animalic, cumin-like appeal in this release. And I think that is like the wild card. I like to say kind of the wild card note in certain fragrances. This is that wild card note. It really gives this fragrance its edge. It's a spice. You'd think, it'd be the oud or something like that, based on the name. No, it is a spice, and there's some pepper here, a little bit of pepper. Now the spices and herbal portion of this opening are dry. They're very aromatic and honestly quite complex, basically bringing us to a spice market. That's the best way for me to describe it. There's several spices here. I felt the caraway and pepper the most prominent, with the Artemisia giving its familiar herbal take in this release. The scent then goes into more of a Middle Eastern territory with the spices, the dried out tobacco leaf with a pinch of a leathery aspect. The tobacco and leather give the scent much needed roundness to the spices, and will start dominating the scent the longer it's on the skin. The oud here gives the scent a dusty, woody aspect and nothing else. It's very much a westernized oud note. And funny enough, it's very much balanced. You know, you're not going to get a wallop of oud here. And woods isn't the big factor in this release. Like I said, tobacco, spices, leathery aspects. Now, once you get into the heart of this release, you really sense the balance of notes here coming together, which makes Oud Malaki so good. There's a lavender note that starts peeking through here, which helps that balance as it gives off a soapy quality here. There's also a milky quality here that I'm not sure where it comes from, but again, it really does freshens and balances off the scent. And you know, there's a lot of harder notes here, darker notes, and it really kind of made the scent more smooth. There's a lot of, and it's something that I would like to say, like there's a lot of big bold notes here that I'm talking about. Tobacco, leather, oud, lots of like tough spices. Caraway is one of them. This fragrance comes off the skin very smooth all the way through, even though there's very much notes that should be really rough and tumble. Rapillon did his thing here with those notes. It was beautiful. It's a heavy scent that isn't too heavy on skin, if that makes sense. The longer it stays on the skin, the other notes in the opening start mellowing down. Now you start getting more of these woods. Namely, I get cedar in the backbone of this one. The westernized oud continues to push with the cedar, of course, and the scent starts turning more rich and ambery with a vanillic backbone. At the end of the day, this thing is blended to perfection, and I think that's where my love from this Malaki line came. Is, of course, I don't know who is the brain trust behind this Malaki line, but you know, bringing in a Rapillon, doing this release, Ambre Malaki, among others, all these Malakis are very well constructed, and of course Rapillon did his thing here. Absolutely gorgeous Oud Malaki. Now let's get into season, day, night versatility and performance. Seasons, my recommended seasons for this, of course, is a darker scent of fall and winter. I feel like in the fall, at least for me, our winters are big and bold. Not that I'm saying that it wouldn't go through a Canadian winter. I think it would do well, but I think, you know, I have bigger, bolder fragrances. Again, the smoothness of this fragrance makes it perfect for fall for me. Day or night, I feel like this is more of a nighttime scent. I just feel like the darker nuances of this release really bring people closer to you, and I think it's more of a nighttime scent. Versatility, average. There's nothing here that screams out big bold oud, crazy fragrance. It's not. I feel like of course the versatility takes a hit. I wouldn't wear this in you know, really hot weather, but I feel like I can definitely dress this one casually. I don't think I would be dressing this one up, but you could. Performance. The performance in this one isn't beast mode, but it's very good. Longevity is 8 to 10 hours. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Actually, a little bit more than what I'm looking for in a fragrance. So very good as far as longevity goes. Projection, that is one thing. Again, it goes on smooth. It goes fairly light on the skin, so it's below average. It kind of goes skin scent after like a few hours passes by. It really engulfs the user when you first wear it. You start putting it on, you're walking around for, you know, half an hour to an hour. It really gives you that bubble, but then it just really goes to a skin scent after that. But it lasts, which is a good thing. So my final thoughts on Oud Malaki from Chopard, with of course a long line of Malaki fragrances. Chopard honestly is quietly releasing excellent fragrances under our noses, pun intended, especially in this Malaki line. If someone would get upset about this not having real oud in it, and you know there's some people like that online, you know, they should shake their head, because the spices and the other notes in this release make this scent what it is. Rapillon, again, going back to the nose, you got to give the nose props, and the Rapillon really did great things here. So for what you get for the price that you're paying for this, especially at discounters from a master perfumer, it's a no-brainer as a purchase. Very wearable scent. The one thing I could say, my little gripe about it, is if you do want something with a little more bite, a little more daring from the Malaki line, because this one, personally for me isn't that. I think you should look at the Incense Malaki with the black bottle, the one that I actually reviewed on my channel, so you can go check that one out from the same brand. That one has a lot more bite than this one, in my personal opinion. So now I'm done with Oud Malaki. It's time for you to hit us up in the comments below. What do you think of it? Looking forward to reading your comments. Very solid release for under $100. You can't go wrong. A really, really great release. At the end of the day, a great port fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube.